Hello everybody and welcome back to my magical little corner of the internet. I'm so excited to have you guys here, and in today's video we are going to go over all of the books that I rated 5 stars out of the 80 that I read last year in 2024. So in 2024 I read a mixture of manga and regular books to get me to the 80 that I read. So I'm going to go through all of the ones that I rated 5 stars. It's not as many as I thought, and usually I throw 5 stars out like candy, but this year it was actually really good. Today I'm wearing my Kaladin Stormblessed beanie from Dragonsteel. This is a little hint into one of the books that I rated 5 stars this year. I absolutely love it, so really excited to be wearing it. So let's start off with manga. The entire series of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is a 5 out of 5 stars. This story is so beautiful. It's so complex and twisty. And even after, this was my reread of this series. Absolutely amazing. My favorite anime of all time. And the manga is just as good. Every single volume was 5 stars. Next up is my favorite manga series of all time, Yona the Dawn. This is volume 22. I'm currently doing a reread to get to the newer volumes. I absolutely love this series. It's the perfect, it's under shoujo, but I think guys would really like it too. It has a lot of fight scenes, there's a lot of political intrigue and mystery, and you don't really know what's going on. You have dragons, you have an amazing female main character, and you have this beautiful budding relationship, this childhood best friends to lovers budding relationship, and it's absolutely amazing. Highly recommend every single volume, all the time, 5 stars. Next up is the manga series Magic Artisan Dahlia Wilts No More. This is just a fun isekai series, but it's really beautiful. It's a really fun story with 2 really adorable, quirky main characters, and just like taking modern inventions from her old life and turning them into magical apparatuses in this new fantasy world. It's beautiful. It covers topics like grief. It covers topics of cheating and divorce, and it's just a really, really good series. Next is probably my favorite manga that I've read this year, and that is Apothecary Diaries. This series is absolutely amazing. A lot of, again, political intrigue, but really funny, quirky moments. Our main character, Mao Mao, she is the weirdest, quirkiest girl you've ever seen in your life, but she's absolutely amazing, and I adore her. And it's just a really, really good story. If you like Sherlock, this is like Sherlock meets ancient Japan, and it's absolutely beautiful. Highly recommend either picking up the manga or watching the anime. The anime follows very closely to the manga and does a really, really good job of not leaving anything out. Next, we have The Way of the Warrior, An Ancient Path to Inner Peace by Erwin McManus. I read this with my mother-in-law. This was a very, very awesome book, changing a lot of my mindset of how I think about things, and also how I think about my ADHD and how my brain works. This was absolutely amazing, not only for my own personal life, but stuff that was ended up going into my main character of my book that I'm writing. So definitely recommend this. This was a 5 out of 5 stars. The rest of these are fantasy books. First up is Silver in the Bone by Alexandra Bracken. I loved this. I love anything Arthurian retellings, and I genuinely had such a blast with this. And I absolutely loved it. Can't wait to read the second one. I finally am going to be able to pick up the second one this year. Absolutely amazing. Nothing like I ever would have expected. The twists and the turns and the heartbreakingness of this book is just absolutely amazing, and I loved every second of it. Next up are 2 books in the same series that I rated both 5 stars. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies and Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands. Amazing, amazing books if you love fairies and folklore. And cute rivals to lovers with very witty banter. I loved it. I really how this main character acts, I really related to. I love Emily and just her quirkiness and everything like that. And William Bambleby, what is it? Is it William Bambleby? Hold on. Wendell Bambleby. There we go. Wendell. I love Wendell. I love their relationship. Everything about this series is so cute and cozy. 5 out of 5 stars for both of them. The next book comes out this year. I'm so excited to get into it. Next is an encyclopedia, or no, The Natural History of Dragons by Marie Brennan. This book changed a lot of things for me. I absolutely loved this book. I sobbed. I had such a fun, amazing time with this book. This book is set in a fantasy world, but it's almost like medieval, like England. Like there's dragonologists, and our main character, it is her memoir, the character's memoir. So she hops in and out of perspective from her younger self and her older self, telling the story. It's, like I can't even say anything without giving too much away. It's absolutely amazing. I highly recommend. Such a beautiful, beautiful book, and definitely like this was my first 6-star read of the year. I absolutely fell in love with this book. Now, next for another 6-star read, I jumped into the Cosmere this year, as you can see. And I started with Mistborn, The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. If you can't tell, I have had the same favorite book of all time since I was 12. Nothing has ever topped my favorite book of all time until I read this. The world building, the characters, the heart-wrenching scenes, everything. The magic system in this is so unique. I fell in love with this world. I fell in love with these characters and the Cosmere, and this is what started me on my Brandon Sanderson kick, and what eventually made Brandon Sanderson become my favorite author of all time, and really like kicked me in the butt to really start writing my books again. I absolutely adored this book. Everything about The Final Empire is just amazing. I bawled. I wept. I was weeping. Driving to Las Vegas for a jiu-jitsu tournament, I was weeping reading the last few hundred pages of this. It was absolutely amazing, and it is officially my favorite book of all time now. So not even 5 stars. This is a 6-star read for me. Would be a 10-star read. Everything about it. I know it's dense. I know it's intimidating. I mean, like if you just look at this, like there's no line spacing, like it's single space. The words are really small, but I promise you it's so worth it to get into this series. So on my priority TBR, I have The Well of Ascension and Hero of Ages. So those are on my priority TBR to get finished this year. But yeah, Mistborn, The Final Empire, I could gush forever and ever, and I might do a dedicated video just to this book. But I'm gonna move on to my next 5-star read, which is my second favorite Brandon Sanderson book of all time, and that is Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. This is the Dragonsteel edition. It is absolutely beautiful. This story had me in a chokehold from the moment I picked it up. This is very much like inspired by Your Name, which is an anime movie, but like done so much better. Like I didn't like Your Name because of the way that it ended and the way that it all happened, but like this was done so much better. Again, I cried. It was so beautiful, so complex. Brandon Sanderson took art and created an entire magic system out of art and just made it so beautiful, and I can't wait to reread this series, this specific book. This is a standalone. This is part of his secret projects. I highly recommend picking it up. 5 out of 5 stars. Absolutely amazing. And then Trust of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. This was my second Brandon Sanderson book I picked up, And when I tell you, I absolutely fell in love with Tress in this world. I mean it. On like, he created a cup that is like this, and I bought the teacup before like I even finished the book. I love Tress. I love her as a character. This is inspired by the Princess Bride, in the perspective of what if, instead of accepting that Wesley was dead, Buttercup went to look for him and went to save him. And that is where we find Tress, this ordinary girl who goes on this big, epic adventure to save the man she loves. It's beautiful, it's heartbreaking, it's a fun time, and I absolutely had a blast with this. This was another 5-star read. This is also the Dragonsteel edition, and I loved it. Now, the last 5-star read and also the last book I finished in 2025 or 2024 was The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. Brandon Sanderson doesn't miss. I have not read a single book of his that I don't like and that I'm not sucked into. This book is 1,000 pages long. And at first I was like, what book needs to be this long for book one in a 10-book series? It needs to be this long. Every second of this was so engaging, so much fun, also heartbreaking. I didn't cry in this one. There were times where like I felt absolutely heartbroken, but these characters are so unique. They're so complex, and like Brandon Sanderson takes things like depression and anxiety, and like, for someone who says he hasn't really experienced those things on a very deep level, does an amazing job of depicting them in this book. Kaladin is probably one of my favorite characters of all time. Kaladin and Kelsier from Mistborn, The Final Empire. These two characters I am absolutely obsessed with. They are such amazing characters, so broken but still choose to be the good guy and still choose to be the hero, and it's just absolutely beautiful. The women in this book, Brandon Sanderson, you can tell Brandon Sanderson likes women by the way he writes his women, because Vin in The Final Empire, absolutely amazing, like strong, like warrior, but still can maintain her femininity. And the same thing with all of the women in this book. Shallan is my favorite so far. My fellow redhead is my favorite so far. She is very complex and very sassy, very quippy. I really enjoyed all of her POVs. And then we have Navani and Yasna, who are also amazing female characters. And just every single character, I wanted to get their perspective, and it's amazing. I know this is a monster. I know it is, but I definitely highly recommend it. 5 out of 5 stars. Absolutely amazing. I'm so excited to get into Words of Radiance and Oathbringer and Rhythm of War, and then eventually Wind and Truth. I'm going to take my time going through this series though, because I want to prolong it so that I'm not like on a book high whenever I finish Wind and Truth, since the 6th book won't be coming out until like 2031, I think they said. But absolutely amazing. Loved every second of it. Brandon Sanderson has become my favorite author of all time. I've never had a favorite author because I've never liked more than one book from a specific author. He is such an amazing storyteller. I'm so in love. I can't wait to read more of the Cosmere. He inspires me so much with my own writing. And yeah, so that is all the books that I rated 5 stars in 2024. I had an amazing reading year. The lowest I gave a book was 2.5 stars, and that was Eragon by Christopher Paolini, and I'll do a whole video on how I feel about Eragon and everything like that, because I know that's a very controversial take, but yeah, that was my lowest book of the year. I had an amazing reading year. I had so much fun, and I can't wait to do another amazing reading year with you guys. It's going to be really fun, and I'm going to try to take you guys along with me. I'm going to try to be more consistent on YouTube. This is now Divine Creation Studio, so it is a combination of my photography and my love of books and my journey on becoming a self-published author and self-publishing my next 2 books. So I hope you guys will stick around for the journey. I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!